Hey Fuka, how you doing today? Shut up, Garistu! Welcome back to Persona 3 FES, and now it's time to go into Tartarus with the assistance of a dog. Once we get there, we're gonna mostly focus on accepting a few requests and going in, though from my practice runs, I have found that one of the requests I don't think we're actually strong enough to do. I learned that the very, very hard way, but first things first, we have a new party member. Koromaru has joined us, and he's actually quite unique in a lot of ways. Has his persona Cerberus. Man's best friend indeed, as one of our other party members would say. It's time for Koromaru to finally join us. Yes, a non-human party member. And Koromaru is pretty effective at what he does. His stats are all around fairly balanced and average, with the exception of agility, which is absolutely insane. Koromaru is by far the fastest party member in the game, which means that he's really effective at hitting enemies and at dodging, especially dodging. In fact, most of Koromaru's entire shtick revolves around dodging enemy physical attacks. Koromaru with his massive evasion naturally, and also the fact that, so I should also mention this, Koromaru cannot equip leg armor. Instead, his leg armor slot is permanently bare paws, which just happens to have one of the best evasion stats in the entire game, 125 evasion. Combine that with his naturally high agility, Koromaru dodges attacks very, very often, and because of that, he's particularly effective at enemies that use melee attacks. He can make them fall over very, very often, allowing for follow-up attacks, or even all-out attacks from the rest of the party in some situations. He only gets better at dealing with physical enemies once he starts learning his counter skills, Counter Strike and High Counter. Especially High Counter, it means that in the off chance that he doesn't dodge something, he has a 50% chance of sending it right back at the enemy anyway. In terms of actual offense though, Koromaru is decidedly average. He's more about speed. He hits relatively mediocre with physical attacks, though they do hit fairly often. And while he does learn some pretty powerful fire skills, and they are stronger than Junpei's fire skills because his magic stat is a little higher than Junpei's, they're still really only useful for getting 1-mors against fire-weak enemies, except earlier on in the game. At this point, Koromaru's fire attacks are actually quite strong. Later on, though, they'll really start falling off. Again, mainly useful for getting 1-mors, not for actually dealing damage. And that means that both fire-specializing party members have this. I much prefer to use the protagonist for actual fire damage. And now we come to Koromaru's other specialization, and probably the one that's the most controversial. Koromaru specializes in darkness-based instant death attacks, i.e. Mudo skills. And as you can see by the chances listed in his moveset there, they're not really the most reliable of things, especially in Persona 3. Hammer and Mudo got buffed heavily in Persona 4, no doubt because people probably complained about their usefulness in this game. That being said though, like I've pointed out multiple times, enemies that are weak to Hammer and Mudo tend to be very resilient against everything else, so usually they are your best option against things like that. And Koromaru is pretty reasonably effective at dealing out Dark-type instant death, because later in the game he not only learns the higher versions of these skills, but also Mudo Boost, which increases the chances of instant death attacks hitting. This is actually a new addition in FES. In the original Persona 3, Koromaru learned Fire Break instead of Mudo Boost, but many players agree that Mudo Boost is a lot more useful to him. To a lot of players though, Koromaru can suffer from the same problem that Mitsuru does, in that he can sometimes waste his time using Mudo skills on enemies that aren't weak to them, which have a very low chance of connecting. Personally though, I find that off chance of instant death to be a little more effective at least than Mitsuru's Marin Karin, and I've never really found Koromaru to be that bad. I've still found him to be pretty useful overall. Now, in addition to all this, Koromaru also learned some minor support moves, namely Sukukaja and Masukukaja. giving an accuracy and evasion buff to the entire party. Master Koro-chan in particular is very useful on him, and it's certainly a lot more useful than what it replaced in the vanilla version of this game. Because yes, these two skills are also newly added to FES. Koromaru got a few modifications in this version. In the vanilla version of Persona 3, Koromaru instead got Evil Touch and Evil Smile, the fear-inflicting attacks, which most people agreed were nowhere near as useful as Tsukakasha. So this is another very good buff for Koromaru. When he's not needed to be attacking with fire damage or trying to use Mudo skills, you can put him on heal/support and buff your party's agility. On the defensive side of things, Koromaru is particularly unique among the party because he has 2 immunities to both fire and darkness. This is very, very, very useful, especially that immunity to fire right off the bat. At this point in the game, we don't have much access to party members with immunities, so that really helps. And immunity to Mudo is useful too, since those skills are pretty dangerous. Unfortunately, the protagonist dying being an automatic game over is a bit of a problem here, because if something uses Mamudo on, for example, and Koromaru is the only one who survives thanks to the immunity, it doesn't really matter much. As a downside for packing 2 immunities, Koromaru is weak to light attacks, which are instant death. This is also a fairly major problem, so you really don't want to bring Koromaru if you know that a lot of enemies in the area are going to be using light attacks or against bosses that use light attacks. Seriously, don't do it, it's really not worth it. Keep him away from Hammer skills at all costs. So to sum up, Koromaru, great against melee physical attackers, against things weak to fire or weak to dark. Though remember that despite him learning Fire Boost and Fire Amp, and having better magic than Junpei, he still doesn't hit that hard with fire skills. I would still recommend making a dedicated fire persona for the protagonist, because they can usually do better damage with fire. Koromaru's persona is probably one that needs no introduction to most people, but it's Cerberus, the 3-headed guardian of the underworld in Greek mythology. There's really not a lot else that I could say about Cerberus that hasn't already been said. It's a pretty iconic part of Greek mythology that most people are familiar with. Although I could bring up that Cerberus is the offspring of Typhon and Echidna, and other offspring include Chimera and Orthrus, both of which are personas available in this game. But one other bit of at least semi-obscure trivia about Cerberus is that there's actually another design of Cerberus in the Shin Megami Tensei series that's actually a little more iconic. This white, one-headed version of Cerberus. Persona 3 is one of the few games in the series that actually depict Cerberus with 3 heads, but the one-headed classic Cerberus is actually in the game's data, and the protagonist has voice clips for calling out its name. It's just unused, and it seems to only be a placeholder, since it's what image displays if you hack the protagonist to have, say, Fuka's persona, which normally can't participate in battle. The one-headed version of Cerberus does appear as a normal summon in Persona 4, however. And I suppose now you'd be expecting voice actor trivia? Well, I've really not much to say here. I'm pretty sure Koromaru is voiced by stock real dog voice clips, rather than a person imitating a dog, so that's really it. Just putting this here for the sake of completeness, because I guess I talked about voice actors for everyone else. Yeah. I should mention that Koromaru was originally designed as a Dalmatian, but was eventually changed. I guess that's all you'll have for trivia here. So, yeah, with that, you'll notice this thing, bare paws, massive, massive evasion. That is pretty awesome. And, yeah, dog suits are completely unique to him, but he can equip normal accessories. So, his SP is a little low and Mudo spells are somewhat expensive, so this might actually help. But I actually think the Slash Ward might be useful here. And, obviously, he can't really respond much to, well, anything, really. But yeah, obviously, he cannot equip normal armor and the like. So, anyway, I'm gonna bring with me this time Akihiko because he's actually quite behind in terms of levels. Now, normally I'd bring Aigis here because Aigis has some really hilarious dialogue when Koromaru was also in battle, but I'm gonna bring Yukari because 1, I need a healer, and 2, she could use some more experience. Now, I actually think... Okay, yeah, this always trips me up. Check status is moved to the top if they're actually in your party. Now, that is a pretty big increase to SP, but... Okay, I should take that thing off Gary's Stew first. Because remember how I said before that I prefer the magic ring for Tartarus because the extra 30% SP really, really helps for big, long sessions of slogging through Tartarus. Instead, I'm going to give Yukari the Mage's Mark, even though that's a pretty big SP increase. Because I like the idea of her regenerating SP. That means she's always capable of, in fact, I believe 4 SP is the cost of a Dia spell, so she's always ready with Dia now. So that is actually going to be quite useful. Anyway, into the Velvet Room with us, but we're going to have to turn in a request first before we accept some new ones. Because, yes, we completed the Feed the Cat request. And yeah, Elizabeth has a bunch of new requests available for us at this point. Which is why I waited until now to turn this one in. Well, that's a surprisingly heartwarming one. 2 Agility Sutras. Might be kind of useful at this point. Anyway, in terms of requests that she has available, still can't do that. We have a new Elizabeth date request available, except this one is, yeah, so I wanted to put this off until now because I wanted to accept the request in Tartarus. The problem is, though, if I had accepted this one yesterday, I could have actually done this today. The next opportunity we have to have a free daytime to do this request is, believe it or not, the 1st of the 9th. Yes, 2 days before the deadline. There's a lot of skipped over time in this summer vacation. But at the very least, we're still going to make it in time for this one, so that's good, but it's not going to be for a little while. And I can't do either of these yet. There's this. This one's actually kind of interesting, but again, we don't have any free daytime until early September, so we're going to have to put this off for a little while. Here we go. Retrieve the 5th old document, and that's quite a lot of yen. 4 Knight's Reins and 5 Tiara Hair. Okay, they're on floors 100... okay, so for my practice run, I know the next boss is on floor 98, so there's no point in accepting this one. I can't find these until beating the next boss, so I'll have to see whether or not I'm able to do that this session. This one, on the other hand, these things can appear in this block everywhere, and they're level 40 and hit absurdly hard. I tried to fight one of them and it did not end well in practice, so I'm going to accept this just in case. I might want to avoid these things unless I have no other choice until I hit a save point. Because they are very, very easily capable of game overing you. Very, very capable of doing that. So with that, with only one request to our name, let's head out into Tartarus. Like I said, our goal this time is the 98th floor, so it's actually 10 floors from where, I believe 10 floors from where we have our, I don't think exactly, let me just check. And then I'll go back and save, obviously, because saving before entering Tartarus is always a good idea. Okay, 85, and the block was at like 89 or something, so it's kind of 10 floors that we need to climb. So anyway, I'll save, and I will see you back here when we actually start exploring. Now, as always, if nothing interesting happens in the floors between the last warp and the next block, I'm just gonna skip over it. But in my practice run, I ran into quite a few enemies on the way, so I hope that I don't this time. Okay, great, we didn't run into anything on the way. So, we have this, this fence here, and... Fence... Begone! now that Justiciate has been defeated, we can move on to, well, we're still in Yabashar block, the second half of the block. Like the previous one, which I've already forgotten the name of, Aqua, yeah, the last one was Aqua. This one is in 2 halves, and we're entering the second half, and that means totally new enemies. Not actually totally new, though. I'll show you once we actually get into a battle with certain ones of them, but, hi there, Shadow, let's fight. I want to show off my dog. So these things.
There are 2 enemies.
These are the Mind Dice. They can appear in the previous full moon. I just didn't run into any of them.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
These things are weak to Zeo, and they're kind of annoying. They're very frail defensively, but they love to spam status attacks. So they are quite irritating. Okay, you only recovered 3. It's a percentage, I believe.
It's weak against electricity.
But yes, Pulimpa, Marin-Karin, Tentarafu's Sexy Dance. Especially Tentarafu in the Sexy Dance can be quite dangerous. They're also resistant to everything that isn't Thunder. Well, everything magical that isn't Thunder, but they are fairly weak defensively and don't have much HP, so... Okay, that's a little better than healing. Wow, nice! Yeah, that is all Mitsunu at work there. Resisting strike attacks.
That was a great
So yeah, those things are not too tough. Next time I'll just Mazio them. And yes, we have 5 coins now. I love the design of the 5 cards in this game.
My skills have improved.
And Akihiko already levels up, so he's already roughly on the same level as everyone else, although Koromaru was level 34, so we kind of need to be catching up a bit. Could go the next 4 if I wanted, but I want to just fight a few more things.
There are 3 enemies. Be careful.
Well, I guess I promised that I'd Mazio them next time.
The enemy is down. Now's your chance.
And now we see Koromaru's all-out attack prompt. I can't wait until he actually hits a weakness, because I really love what Koromaru does when that happens. His cut-in is pretty awesome. And that is surprisingly pathetic as far as cards go. Come on, 3 cards are old news. We're into 5s now. Okay, just, maybe 1 more shadow in this floor? Maybe more, I'm not sure. What do we got here? Ah, these things.
There are 3 of them. Strike first.
Now, this is interesting. There's no question mark. Yep, the Justice Sword is identical to the enemies we fought back in the last full moon, so since I scanned it there, I still have to scan now. These things are weak to wind, though I don't like having a level 24 persona equipped at this point in the game. It is my best source of Magaro, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Also, I believe... of course I missed one of them. Yep, there's the cut-in I was talking about. I have no idea why he got it there, though. It wasn't a weakness or a kill. Okay, Yukari, please do what I want you to do. Please don't. Okay, good. I hate it when they prioritize hitting the down ones instead of downing the other ones. Now we get all-out attack.
Here's our chance for all-out attack.
And the sword shall fall. They can hit pretty hard, though, so watch out for that. Okay, okay, that's a 5 experience, which is good. 2. I already have Lamia, so I really hope I don't pick that one. And now... So Empusa's leveled up, probably due to being so low level for this area, but learns Growth 1. The growth skills are essentially the experience share from Pokemon, the non-Gen 6 broken version, in skill form, although this one only gives the persona a quarter of the battle's experience if it's inactive. Growth 2 gives half active okay, I might want to equip Mitsunu actually. There's not much in this area that uses wind, and the few things that do are quite easily taken out. So yeah, might want to fight this one. Yeah, growth 2 gives half experience, and growth 3 gives full experience while inactive.
There are 3 enemies. Be careful.
Oh, I don't like this group of enemies. This group of enemies is annoying. One of those things is weak to fire, the other 2 are weak to wind. And yeah, we saw you back in the full moon.
The enemy's weak against ice.
Eerie sound can be somewhat annoying. I meant weak to ice, yeah. So, I do not have anything currently. Actually, now, I wanted to save these, but just to show off where these gems can sometimes be useful. I've got 7 of them anyway. So, this could be useful when you have a persona that... Because you can only switch personas once per turn, so if I switch to a wind persona, I wouldn't be able to hit the ice weak one's weakness, but using the wind gems to knock them down, I can now switch to King Frost and hit the ice weak one's weakness. So yeah, that's where the gems can be useful sometimes. And I miss, of course I do. Should have known that would happen. That cunning plan almost succeeded. And you're gonna wake them up again, aren't you? Yes, you are.
The enemies return to normal.
At least we're seeing Koromaru get a little bit of action. There isn't very much in this area weak to Mudo, so unfortunately that's not really gonna... Well, or fortunately, because that's pretty unreliable in this game, even against things that are weak to it.
That's the way. Nice.
And I suppose I could switch to a wind using Persona now.
2 enemies
Yeah,
left.
my Pale Rider has everything except Ice, which is somewhat unfortunate. Almost Quad Elemental. It is possible to get a Quad Elemental Pale Rider.
One enemy left. Here's our chance for an all-out attack.
Hello, Maya, you're about to be overkilled.
The battle's over.
Okay, enough messing around. Time to head to the next floor. 4 coins aren't bad. I could really use more experience, though. Especially since most of the personas that... Oh, speaking of more experience... Oh, wow. 2 level ups in 1 battle. Pale Rider leveled up. Not enough for a new skill, and those stats are not that great for this point in the game, unfortunately. Was that 2 Discharms on 1 floor? Oh, hi, there's another shadow. I'm just going to avoid you. Haha, you're a Dalek, you can't go up the stairs. It's always fun to do that. Okay, so, Fuka, I already told them that the boss is on the 98th floor, so... Yeah, that's not going to be as helpful. And hi there. Oh, I just realized I want to change the music, actually.
There are 3 enemies. Be careful.
Okay, so here's the Wild Drive. This used to be a purple shadow, now it's a regular encounter. That happens pretty often. Happened last block with the Lustful Snake, it's happening again now.
Good choice.
Basically what the game's telling you is at this point, these things are not these super powerful encounters. They're just on par with regular encounters, and why are you missing King Frost? Yeah, this can be a problem. Oh, that's not good, because that's a massively boosted critical rate on Gary Stu if he gets hit. Oh yeah, by the way, Akihiko has Zionga now, so there's Zionga in action. You fool!
I couldn't finish it off.
Well, at least you didn't hit someone who was panicking.
Help me.
So yeah, the Rampage Drive can also show up as a regular enemy in the previous full moon. I found that out when I was getting that footage for showing off... I believe my accuracy is ridiculously low with this up.
Weakness.
But... you know what, I can go ahead and switch. No, that's... Who has Pale Rider as regular Zio?
2 enemies left.
I have been watching too much later Persona games where if you use a multi-hitting attack, it gets a one more if it knocks down at least one of them.
I've been waiting for this.
In this one, there's a little bit more strategy involving how you use those, because if I were to use that, it would wake up the one that was already down, and it would also not give me a one more, so... in some ways, I do kind of like that... Oh, okay. I could take a 5 sword, but I could also go for Queen Mab. I'm going to get Queen Mab. We're only at rank 1 lovers, so it's no real loss to get this in shuffle time rather than fuse it. And I'm probably going to fuse it away anyway. I am going to need Queen Mab for something a bit later on, but that's for quite a bit later on, actually. Although we're approaching the point where we have access to it. You are a lot of enemies. Probably not 5, but yes, you are 4.
Watch out! There are 4 enemies.
Oh, right, I'm on Pale Rider. I thought it was on Shisa. One of these days, you will not miss something, King Frost. Oh, that's not good. Koromaru is usually great at knocking things down that use physical attacks.
The enemies return to normal.
Okay, now would you kindly all go down, please? There we go. Gotta be a little careful about SP consumption, though.
That was a great battle.
Aha, 5 well, 8,000? Really? In my practice run, I got 20,000 out of a 5 coin, so that's a bit underwhelming. I did not see you there. I cannot reach you from here. It's not actually seen us either. And you again. That's a little more like it. 11,000. The payouts for these floors are a lot higher than the earlier ones, but at the same time, companion costs are going up pretty sharply. So it does sort of balance out. But at least day-to-day expenses are not as,
There are 3 enemies.
Okay, here's another group of enemies that is somewhat interesting. This is the Ice Raven.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
This can also show up in the previous full moon, and you can probably tell what the Ice Raven is weak to. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit annoying because... Well, you even have. You have no elemental skills at all. You are purely support. Okay, then. I'm banking on... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do that, just to make sure. Just to make sure that he doesn't prioritize hitting one of these things. Wow, that's a lot of damage. I like that auto Tarikaka.
The enemy is down. Now's your chance.
Okay, and yeah, here's the thing. Okay, Akihiko's gonna be a stupid person. So, Akihiko, I'm gonna put you on that, just to make sure you're not gonna be an idiot. Okay, that's gonna keep you down.
It's weak against fire.
So anyway, these things do have Garu, but they're fairly easy to take down. They also have Mamudo, but hey, Koromaru is immune to that. Not that it really matters, since, it's kind of like, oh, he's going to be the sole survivor if everyone else gets hit by it, but that doesn't matter, because Gary's going down as game over. And yeah, there's Koromaru's victory pose. Okay, now I could grab a 5 sword, and I have a way better Shisa than that, I am sorry. Really? Beast Fangs? Again? Already got way too many of those. And that's absolutely pathetic, and that's also not what I need. So let's head on to the next floor. I think I'm going to request healing from Yukari, though. She actually, I don't think, has... I mean, she's spent SP, but she's at full again, thanks to that regeneration. Anyway, speaking of Shisa, I was going to mention that in my current Sun and Moon playthrough, I currently have a Growlithe named Shisa. Thing is, the Shisa, like those actual stone lion things, that's actually what Arcanine is based off of. So, yeah, same mythological root, so the name's pretty appropriate.
There are 3 enemies.
That's an interesting combination. Koromaru is going second, though. So I could Zeo this thing. See, I only have Maragi, not singular Agi. So, what can I do now? Yeah, I don't have to waste SP. I may as well just whack one of them. Or I could get a critical.
Nice one.
That works.
Off balance now.
No, that's not good.
Help me.
And you just are knocked down all of them.
This thing won't give up.
Because that's totally a real word, but I don't really care. Okay, that's good. Take that thing down. And then you will put it back up again because you're stupid. Okay, I'm not weak to this currently. Good. That's not good. Okay then. Right, but I think this might work out. If this thing dies to this Zeo, which it may not, but if it does, yes it did, I can now safely Maragi.
The enemy is down. Now's your chance. Here's our chance for an all-out attack.
And there we go. So yeah, so far the enemies here are really not all that threatening. The purple shadows definitely are, but the regular things in this block, not so much. Okay, there's a 5-cup card. I've always found that even the higher level cup cards don't heal all that much. Oh, and
Yes, my skill level has increased.
see look, Akihiko is still very, very low. I'm not gonna... No, I'm gonna have her heal. There was a shadow... you know what, I think I've seen most of the new enemies in this area. So, I don't know, I'm not really good. I would like more experience, though. So yeah, 98th floor, which I already knew. And in my practice run, this was where my run came from the untimely end at the hands of those purple shadows. So, let's avoid that.
There are 3 enemies. Be careful.
Oh, hi, Ravens. Here's a Maraki.
That's the way.
Oh, wow, 2 5 experience cards. And that is a fast shuffle, but I know where you are. There you go.
My skills have improved.
Yeah, you'll notice that we're leveling up quite a lot here, but that's because I think we're slightly underleveled for where the game expects us to be, so... I can take out these normal enemies with relatively no trouble, as you've been seeing, but the purple shadows, not so much. They are a real major, major threat. Which, hopefully, you won't see until I hit a save point. That was 2, and there we go. Do I want this? I'm gonna try. Okay, 2 of them I already have, currently, and the other 2 I don't really need, because I already have them in the compendium, but I'm gonna grab Titan just in case. That is 2. And Titan is gonna be the first to go if I... Oh, hey, we are starting to get spears from Tartarus now. It's a little early for that, except the protagonist can use these, so... I mean, this is actually not bad, +2 agility and pretty cool, but... It's got a bit of wind-up time and a lot of lag afterwards, but I may as well just, the running animation with this thing's kind of funny, though. Charge! Gary Stu has reclassed to Spear Fighter. I am going to poke something in the face. Okay, so this is probably not going to end well. But it does have longer reach. And the animations are cool.
There are 3 enemies.
The spear is going to stab you through the camera. Okay, the animation looks slightly different if you've got a spear. Very, very slightly, but...
No shadows are left.
Now, that victory pose isn't that different. I'm gonna go for that Force Sword, no pun intended. And I get a bow that I have long since completely outclassed, so no needing that. Hey, free chest. Another one, really! Which is totally worthless, because unless it has a better effect on it. Where is that second cross spear? +2 luck. I think I like agility better. Hello there. You have not seen me. So I'm going to poke you. Oh hey, I also have the perfect persona.
There are 4 enemies. Attack!
Fuka's quotes are taking a long time to load here. I will say my PS2 console, because yes, this is an original PS2, is actually very old. It's had to be repaired at least once. Like, its disk drive completely died once and needed a new crystal in it. So, it's been pretty good ever since, but I just hope it's not wearing out too much. Okay, that's 3 or 5, and did not see anything, so... Yeah, let's just go with the coin. And hello there! Wow, experience everywhere, nice. And, great, I lost track. Is that 4? Yes, there we go. Well, I had a 1 in 3 shot. 3 in 5 shot. I don't know why I said 1 in 3. 3 in 5 shot of getting it anyway, so... Wasn't really that big a deal, but still. No, I don't think anyone's gonna get tired for quite a while, actually. We're getting to the point in Tartarus where you just don't get tired often, and that's gonna... Yeah. So, that was too close. That was too close. At least it's just these things.
An ambush! There are 4 of them!
That's not good, though. You really like that eerie sound, don't you? And all 4 of them went for it! Well, everyone is distressed, but that doesn't really matter because I'm going to destroy everything.
There are 4 enemies left! That's the way!
All-out attacks are still fine when you're distressed, so that's good at least. Fear or Charm, I believe. Definitely Charm, but I'm pretty sure also Fear will prevent you from participating. Yeah, that took a little while. I may have to give my console a rest after this. Aha, I found you! And that's the bow that I previously got out of a rare chest, but is now worthless because I have a better fused one. I never really use those odd morsels. We still haven't done the thing that requires 1 odd morsel, but as late as we end up doing it, we're pretty much guaranteed to have an odd morsel by that point. You want to make sure that you have at least 1. It's generally not a good idea to use them as a healing item anyway, so... Yeah, so you probably will still have 1. I have not seen any purple shadows. That's most likely a good thing, because those things are terrifying. Okay, they're all just swords. Okay, there's Sarasvati, and it went up 1. Wow, you are going very fast now. And I am... Remember when I promised that I would get rid of Titan first? Goodbye, Titan. I have wanted Sarasvati for a while, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to need to keep her for a while, because I will be needing a Priestess and a Lover's matching persona soon. In fact, because of that, I might want to keep Queen Mab as well. Alternatively, just buying Pixie and an Apsara will suffice. That was cutting it very close.
Let's go.
Do it again.
Sadly, he did not do it again, forcing me to use Mazio again. And expend extra SP. Thank you, Akihiko.
That's it. The enemy is down. Here's our chance for an all-out attack. Throw me at him.
That was a pretty good chunk of experience, actually. Very good. Hey, Koromaru leveled up. And hey, you didn't see me. Nice. Yeah, I picked the one thing that I didn't want. Yeah, gonna get rid of you. Don't need you at this point. Having Auto Tarakaja to easily pass down to other personas is great, but now is not really the time. I kind of want to keep both Sarasvati and... Do I want that chest? You know what, I'm going to take that chest. I saw that exclamation mark. It noticed me, but only too late. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh, no! I do have a homunculus for this. And yeah, there you see Koromaru's immunity in action.
Good boy, Koro-chan.
Yeah, my console definitely needs a rest after this. 4. Hey, level 34, nice.
Yes, my skill level has increased.
And Yukari leveled up to... What the... That was 54,000! That was... Okay then, I'm not sure what the... I have absolutely no idea what controls, like, how much yen drops from... And I see the stairs behind you there. How much yen drops from chests, but that was insane. It's probably some kind of outright random number, because I've got just 1,100 from this session, and then I just got 54,000. And I'm gonna go ahead and just use a Medeo on everyone, because I don't want to push my luck here. I'm almost at the safe area. Okay, that's not a purple. That is also not a purple. But I think I'm... Silent Sandals! I was about to say favored sandals of Vax, and then I realized he always wears his boots of haste, so I wouldn't get a chance to wear them anyway. Aha! Evade-elect medium. Nice. Yeah, let's go ahead and, is that better or worse than what Yukari has currently? Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's better than the Crimson Greaves, so let's go ahead and put that on. And, yeah, Koromaru cannot use the Crimson Greaves or the Silent Sandals or anything, but his bare paws are all he ever needs. I love those 5 experience cards. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. Oh wow, he gets 3 times in 1 visit. Another Silent Sandals. Those most likely do not have a Evade-elect medium. What do these ones have? Evade Fire low. Huh. I don't know. I mean, we need better shoes on Gary's too, but Mitsuru could use that Evade Fire. I don't want to go around with Impulsor equipped. King Frost has some pretty nice balanced stats apart from agility. Okay, good. You're all not purple. And you are stairs, so I'm not gonna... Okay, you're not purple anyway. One more floor. Don't want to jinx this. One more floor. One more floor, and then we're safe for now. And we are... There is no getting past it.
There are 4 enemies.
Ah, good time to switch back to King Frost. And good time to miss one of them again. And this is why it's a very good thing that I equipped that plus 30 SP ring, because otherwise we would have been out of SP a long time ago. Even though Yukari is still almost full on SP. I mean, I guess not many enemies in this area are weak to wind, and the ones that are, Gariusu just hits himself. Oh, hey, we can get Sassy in shuffle time now. No use because we already have her, but nice to know. In practice, I saw Flauros show up here, and I think maybe Virtue showed up as well. That is a very narrow corridor and a very big shadow, but... And hey, stairs, good. We did not run into a single purple. That is kind of lucky, actually. So, yeah, 3 enemies in the middle. Let's see if we can get a glimpse of them. Let's peek around the corner. Okay, yeah, there they are. So, they look kind of semi... Oh, it's a big circle, okay. Don't know if we've actually seen shadows of their type before. We might have. I vaguely recall we may have seen them in earlier floors. I'm not entirely 100% on that, but anyway. We're up to 98. That's a pretty good spot to be at now. We're almost 100 floors into Tartarus, if you can believe it. And I just want to go ahead and check how much everyone leveled up in that session, because that's a lot of levels that everyone gained. I'm probably going to want to go in and train up Mitsuru and Junpei a bit. So Yukari's now 31. Not quite at Gurula, though. I guess is, yeah, now equal to Yukari. Mitsuru, I'm going to want to train there a little bit, but Junpei definitely. He's a little bit behind. Akihiko is now also 31. So one's pretty much evening out. Koromaru is 35. May have to not use him for a little while because he is fairly over-leveled. And Fuku is 33. So with that, I am going to go ahead and save here. And then I'm going to prepare for the next boss. I think we should be able to take the next boss on now. The next boss is one that I remember quite well from my first playthrough, and I have a pretty definite strategy in mind for already. But I'll just have to go up and look up a few additional details on it. Anyway, see you for, I think we'll be able to take the boss on this session, so see you for the boss.